For VCU, we have student athletes Zeb Jackson, Jack Clark, Max Shulga, and Joe Bamasil. We'll now take questions for the student athletes. Hold on, let's get you a mic. It's being recorded. Go ahead, please.
Zach Joaquim, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Guys, is the altitude any kind of an adjustment for you? You played it in a couple times this season, but anything you do different in practice-wise to prepare for the game tomorrow?
We definitely got to get up and down when we practice just to kind of get a feel for things, but I think we were all kind of talking too. We played in New Mexico, which was a pretty high altitude, and I feel like it's definitely a little different. New Mexico felt different the first day there, so yeah, it feels good being able to get adjusted a couple days before.
Back there, to your right, guys.
Jay Drew, Deseret News in Salt Lake City. Max, you've obviously played against BYU, pretty familiar with them from your time at Utah State. What are you telling your teammates about the Cougars?
They obviously switched the whole coaching staff from last time I played them, and the team looks very different from the last time I played them too. So, yeah, we just gotta treat them like a brand new team. You know, we know that they, you know, just shoot a lot of threes, crash, stuff like that, throw extra passes. So, yeah, we're just treating them like a brand new team. I don't think there's any similarities from the time when I played them last to this year.
Other questions? There we go. Let's go back here first, then we'll come to you.
Rob Dawson, KOA. This is for Max. Max, this is it can be an inspiring event. So many people watch it. What does it mean for you to, represent your homeland of Ukraine in a tough time and maybe be an inspiration for people?
It means a lot. You know, like I don't think there's not many, or not in my memory, not many people from Ukraine or players from Ukraine. They really get to play in March Madness like that, so it's definitely yeah. I haven't really thought about it like that. I don't really think too much into stuff like that, but you know, if I can serve as an inspiration to young kids back home in Ukraine, then you know, that's yeah, that's something that I'm definitely willing to do and just put on for my country.
Right here.
Zach Joaquim, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Do y'all have any childhood memories of the NCAA Tournament? Games that you remember that stand out to you that kind of inspired you to follow college basketball at a young age?
I wouldn't say I have like a specific moment or anything, but I think it's just like opening social media, looking on TV, seeing ESPN, just watching all the upsets, the crazy upsets. You'll just see like a 16-1 upset, like just an insane upset buzzer beater game, kind of just like last night. It was like a buzzer beater with Alabama State. Like games like those are just insane to see on TV. It's just, and now we're a part of that. It's just something unreal.
Luke Evans, Denver Post. Jack, you just mentioned 16-1 upset. You guys have a coach who once pulled that off. For any of you, obviously you're not a massive underseed in this, but again, kind of being the underseed here, does it help confidence at all to know that you guys are led by, a man who pulled off, the first 16-1 upset in tournament history?
It gives us a lot of confidence, not only for us, but as coaching staff as well, knowing that, like you said, 16-1 upset, and he was a part of that. So, that gives us a lot of confidence to go in hey, we're in an 11 seed playing a 6 seed, but for us, it's like an even match game. So going in there with a lot of confidence would not only help us for this game, but in the long run as well.
Zach Joaquim, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Is it a bit of a psychological advantage to be a conference champion and to just have that momentum of just having cut down the nets on Sunday and won a title? Obviously, not every team in this tournament won their last game, so can that help y'all tomorrow a little bit?
I would say yeah. You know, just because we've played, even though we played three games in 3 days, it is like you said, momentum gaining experience. You know, but things really move so quickly, like you don't even really realize. You know, like think about it. Like that was in the moment we celebrated, but then we just moved on. Like next day we have film, and then next day we left, and now we're here again. So it's like it's moving so quick. It's not even like really time to think that deep into it. It's just like now we have another game to play that we're trying to win.
Anything else? Okay, we'll dismiss the student athletes at this time. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rodney, I see you out there.
For VCU, we have Coach Ryan Odom. We'll open it up for questions for the coach.
Not everybody at once.
Go back there on the right, Coach.
Jeff Lakewald, ESPN. I'm just curious what tangible benefit in coaching came from the historical moment you were part of in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, what did I learn from that team? I would say probably just belief, having that belief that anything can happen. That particular group had its ups and downs all year. Won its conference tournament in dramatic, fashion, and then obviously propelled us into the tournament. And they had no expectations other than let's try to win. And when they got to the tournament, and obviously within the game, we were able to hang in the game, in the first half, and then we had a run in the second, and were able to finish it out. And I think that particular group, is will always be special to me, for sure. But how does it relate to now? Not very much. I think this group, has forged its own path, and this particular group is a confident group. It's a connected group, and we know we're facing a great team that's similar in a lot of ways. They play beautiful basketball.
Over here.
Greg Wrubell, BYU Sports Network. Just immediate reaction when you saw your name pop up next to BYU in the bracket on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the immediate reaction was wow. Obviously spent 2 great years in Utah, and we played one another once, down at your place, and in a tough game, and I had caught BYU several times over the course of the season, in the Big 12, and just really impressed, with how they play. And obviously diving into it and getting ready for the game here in preparation, even further cemented, my feelings about how they play. And they're a really balanced team. And, I think, it's going to be a fun matchup.
Let's go back here first, and then we'll come to you. Go ahead.
Sean Walker from KSL in Salt Lake City. Just by follow-up, Coach, can you take anything from that game? Down in Provo, I know 4 years it's kind of an eternity in college basketball, but can you take anything at all, just kind of overall style about BYU or that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm just glad it's not in the Marriott Center. I mean, that's an imposing place, and I know there'll be a ton of Cougar fans here as well. Not too far of a trip, but no, not really anything from that game. Different coach, different players. I know Nell, was there. Traore was there. And so they have some guys that were still on the team, but I think we're solely focused on what they've done this season.
Right here.
Zach Joaquin, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Coach, BYU, high-powered offense. What impresses you the most about what they do offensively? And you guys have the #1 effective field goal percentage defense in the country. What do you need to do to disrupt their flow offensively?
Yeah, I mean, they're really impressive. When you see it, it starts right when they block out and they get their rebound. They're very tall. They're very skilled. They attack you quickly in transition, and they can put you on your heels, and they can rattle off a ton of points, very quickly. And so our shot selection is going to be very important, on offense, to try to limit their ability to get out. Certainly our ball security needs to be tight because they'll turn those into easy baskets just like we do. But, just our transition defense is going to be really, really important, in this game. They're a wicked three-point shooting team. They have multiple guys that can knock it down. They can really pass the ball, and they're willing passers. And a lot of similarities. I think we pride ourselves on doing that as well, and so it's not going to be easy, but we're going to have to do it.
Yes, Coach Chris Thomas in Denver Gazette doing something on sons who played for their fathers. What was it like having Connor play for you, and then then he won that USBWA Most Courageous Award too? Just maybe comment on that.
Wow, great question. You know, it's a really special thing for. It was special for Lucy and I to still have him around. You know, because usually your son, daughter, they go away to college. You know, that's kind of what happens. Rarely do they stay in the same town, you know, where they grew up. And you know, to have him, you know, with us at two different spots, you know, out at Utah State, and then, you know, obviously, you know, at VCU to finish it up. And he's still finishing right now. He just decided to focus on what's next as opposed to playing one more season. He could have played one more that COVID year. But just really proud of his development. Really proud of him, you know, receiving that award. He's been through a lot in his life, and he has been a very courageous kid to deal with OCD and mental health issues that you know, have been a part of his life since he was young, probably 7th grade. And, you know, to see where he's at right now, you know, in his life is really gratifying, you know, for our family. And it's been really cool, you know, to be able to spend that time, you know, with him. He's here in town, you know, with us, and as is my other son, Owen, you know, as well. And Connor's best friend is here, you know, that he grew up with. And so it's just neat to be able to share in these experiences.
Let's go right here.
Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union Tribune. Ryan, when you were in the Mountain West, Utah State, you saw C-level teams come up to altitude and struggle. I saw it all the time. All the C-level coaches will tell you it's really, really hard. How equitable, how fair is it that BYU is sent to an altitude venue and gets to play a bunch of teams that are from sea-level?
Yeah, I mean, you won't hear me complaining at all about where we get sent in the NCAA tournament or where somebody else gets sent. I mean, I think it is what it is. You know, we're not concerned about it. You know, we played earlier in the season, you know, out in Vegas and then went over to New Mexico. So our guys have experienced it already. You know, you grow up as a kid, you know, wanting to play in this environment and wanting to play in this tournament, and, you know, they could send you anywhere, you know, to do it. And, you know, they're in that locker room right now, looking at the lockers and looking at the March Madness, you know, things that are posted everywhere like this, you know, with their name on it, and it's like it's a really special time. And so we're just going to try to make the most of it while we're here.
Right here.
Paul Klee, the Denver Gazette. Ryan, welcome to Denver. Montana coach was talking earlier about some of the, you know, the great coaches that have stepped aside over the last couple of years. I'm sure some guys that you look up to.
Sure.
With the transfer portal, how have you guys managed to navigate it, and what are the keys to being successful in that area?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the keys is retention. You know, I think we're here right now because of the guys that we were able to retain. Max, obviously, being the one that, you know, had plenty of options, you know, to go to the highest level. And these other guys did too, but they were committed to being together and committed to finishing it out here, you know, at VCU. And so I think that's the first thing. Maybe I'm a bit naive, but I still believe that you can, you know, have, you know, the same type of relationships that we've always had with these kids, and you can build a program with a really strong culture while understanding that you're going to lose some kids every now and then. I don't think the best way to do it is to reshuffle the deck every single year. I think the way that we've been able to do it with Jack Clark and Phil Russell obviously joining our team, and then the group of freshmen, the talented freshmen that we have, you know, it works for me. I've enjoyed it. I know that. And it's been fun to, you know, spend 4 years with Max Shulga and watch his development. These guys that followed Utah State will tell you his first year when I was there, like, you know, I was on him all the time. He didn't get in a game, and he had to work his way into a game. And by the end of that year, we were injured, and he started a game because we were injured, not because he had necessarily earned it at that point, and played really well. And so he earned a little bit more time down the stretch of that season. And then he was a starter the next year, you know, on an NCAA tournament team. And then he's, you know, first team A-10 Now he's player of the year in the A10. And so that's what it's all about to me is helping kids, grow and develop and not always telling them everything they want to hear, telling them what they need to hear and helping them get better. And I'm really thankful specifically with him for that relationship and, excited for the ending here, with him.
Here.
Coach, you know how this time of year works. The teams that aren't here are looking for coaches. That's swirling around. How do you address those rumors, and how do you handle that element of it?
Yeah, I don't address any of the rumors. My total focus right now is on this team, this university, and doing our best, here in the tournament. So we don't worry about any of that other stuff.
Let's go here first, then we'll come to you.
Yeah, Chris Thomas at Denver Gazette again. You were asked at the start, about the monumental upset in 2018. Do you get many calls over the years from other coaches, like asking for advice, like how'd you do that or anything like that? Does that ever happen?
Occasionally, and it's not ones that you would suspect. It's like a 8th grade volleyball coach, or a soccer team, from wherever, and there's just an email, that's sent, and I always respond, and try to do the best that I can to be there and help.
Back there to your right, Coach.
Yeah. Jeff Legwald, ESPN again. Just following up the earlier question, how much more time do you spend on retention than you used to maybe before the portal?
Yeah, you have to right away. You have to talk to your team, after the season's over. You try not to do it, as it's going, because you want everybody to focus on the present and what you're trying to get accomplished day in and day out. But it's certainly, a critical aspect of any program. And, we're losing some really good players, and so we're in a different situation necessarily than last year, but we have some really talented young guys that, we love and we understand. You get to the end of the year, each team, that we're fortunate enough to coach, I say it every year to our team, it's like this team has one life to live, and let's make the most of this life that we have together, and let's enjoy every moment. Let's lean into the hard times, when we have them, and understand that it's not meant to be easy. And let's all grow, from this experience and try to get closer. And while realizing, there's only going to be one team that's going to cut those final nets down. But this particular team, all right, has experienced a ton of success, this year, and to be able to cut down nets in our own conference and win a regular season is really gratifying, for this group, and they earned it.
Right here.
Zach Joaquin, Richmond Times-Dispatch. Coach, what are your earliest memories of the NCAA tournament? Do you have any games or experiences that stand out?
I think it goes back to Valvano, right, and Wittenberg, and just the monumental upset, that happened there, and just to even make it into the NCAA tournament, and then advance to the Final Four, and then face these monster teams, and find a way to be in it at the very end, to win. What a coach he was, what a motivator he was, to be able to do that. And, every year brings, a new moment in history that's so special. We're also lucky to be a part of this. And I'm really thankful, that I'm able to be. I wasn't able to do it as a player because I wasn't good enough, but we had our own NCAA tournament experiences at Hampton-Sydney with Coach Shaver, and I'm thankful for those and the friends that I made on my teams, that still come to games at VCU, with us now, and that live there in Richmond. So being a part of a team is something special, and playing in the NCAA tournament is really, really special, and I'm lucky to be a part of it.
Coach, what does it mean to watch Max's development on the basketball court, but also thinking about what's going on in his homeland of Ukraine?
Yeah, he's dealt with a lot, over the course, of the last 4 years. And, I can remember when the war first started and we were at Utah State, and, one of his teammates, Sean Bairstow, called me, and obviously we were all talking to Max at this point, but he's going through it at that time, staying up all hours of the night, really stressed, with what was going on, and Sean was his best friend there, and he obviously played for us at VCU as well, and he was like, you need to make sure you definitely check on him a little even more, than you are, and so. The community there in Logan was tremendous, with him. The students and folks there did a great job of looking after him, being there for him. His teammates certainly did, his coaches. And then VCU is certainly taking it to another level as well. He's one of their own now, and he's really proud, that he's finished it out here at VCU. And he talks to his parents, pretty much every day, and, has a chance to talk to his sister as well. And so he keeps tabs on what's going on over there, but understands that he's not in control over anything. None of us are. And we just have to react, and deal with what's going on. And, he's done a magnificent job of balancing that along with school and, high-level basketball. It's a lot to deal with, and he's done a fabulous job.
Last question.
As Luke Bamboy has gotten better, been able to play more minutes, how does that impact the rest of the team and what you guys are able to do?
Yeah, I mean, he's just an impressive rim protector. His timing to block shots, is impeccable. I think it allows us to get out in pressure, because he and Firm are back there. Protecting our basket, and he really runs. He's playing against older guys every night, which is rare that you would have a freshman, starting like this in this day and age, and only the great ones can do that, and he's got a really bright future, ahead of him.
Okay, thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. As a reminder, Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaaveritone.com. Transcripts are also provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you.